Zeke stamps the return date on the slip, slides it into the pocket, and hands the girl the book. Thank you for visiting the library where dreams become reality. May you enjoy the portal to another world, which, many have said is the appeal of the old man in the sea. You'd never know what it's about from the title. The girl gives an unamused but polite smile and walks out with her book. With what will be at least a few minutes free of patrons, Zeke takes a forkful of Handfast's famous shelf-stable pork and hums to himself as he chews it. He can't help but sing the jingle quietly to himself. Shelf-stable pork, pork on your time. He chuckles, shakes his head, and clicks idly at the weirder subreddits. Anything real happening out there in the world? He wonders. The computer, as if in response to his musing, shuts off. Then all of the computers go dark, and the library is even quieter than normal without their low hums to keep him company. Zeke looks out the window and swears he must be imagining things. Is it snowing outside? No way, man. It shouldn't be snowing in September or May, whatever month it is. Zeke dashes out from behind the counter and steps outside the library. As fresh flakes begin to accumulate on the ground and the windshield of his van again, Zeke just laughs. He rolls the windows up on his van and considers making a snow angel, but remembers that he's still on the clock and thinks better of it. Maybe after his shift. He walks back inside, pulls out his BlackBerry, and searches unseasonable snow electronics malfunctioning cryptid. Surely this will at least kill some time. Maybe he'll even find some answers. This is Pod Against the Machine's bonus content.
Hello, and welcome back to Jimmy Fame Presents Bonus Against the Machine. More pod for your bod. Presented by, oh no, I had a series of letters. Presented by Charlie the Lizard Folks, Chicken Emporium, more cluck for your buck. Feel like that's all so the close. Words are there. Ah, dang it. Sponsored
and
by.
Chris
Sponsored
Gaines.
by. Sponsored by. There it is. Okay. Next time. Third time's a charm. Anyway, welcome back. We're playing Monster of the Week again, which I don't think I said last time we played this. We are playing Monster of the Week, a Powered by the Apocalypse game by Michael Sands. We are playing the one-shot Dream Away the Time, so if any of this sounds familiar, that's why. We've got four great people out here in a park. It's raining, there's a fire, and it's spreading. Oh, also last time we were in a bar and a guy came in. He had been attacked, similar to some other attacks. This in relation to some other weird happenings, weird weather events, knives being blunted, spoons going missing, appliances dying. It's just been a weird time all around. Our adventurers, I think they're adventurers, even if they started in a tavern, so I'm assuming they're adventurers. All went to the cop's house and interrogated him. He pointed them in the direction of a few people who had been recently attacked, and en route to visit those people, they stopped at a park where they saw a strange girl watching a group of teenagers play. Before they could confront her, a giant storm sprang up out of nowhere and started a fire, and that's where we are. There's a fire! Help! What are you gonna do?
On a school night?
Fire on a school night.
Surely someone has to tell this fire. It's much too late for this.
Yeah, roll, manipulate
And
someone.
is the fire still going, like, through the pouring downpour also?
It is. It's super weird because you're thinking normal fire wouldn't do that.
Rain's gasoline round here in Handfast.
Hey, that fire seems like a mystery I want to investigate.
Or would it be a bad situation you want to read?
Yeah, I would definitely say it's probably more of a bad situation.
Okay. That's less cool.
What are you doing?
He's like, like on his BlackBerry, Googling magical fire house stop.
Yeah, good. Good. All right, roll plus sharp. There it
Plus
is.
Sharp. Okay. Oh, 10 plus 1 for an 11.
Nice. Go ahead and hold 3. When you look around and read a bad situation, roll plus sharp. On a 10 plus, hold 3. One hold can be spent to ask the keeper one of the following questions. What's my best way in? What's my best way out? Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? What's the biggest threat? What's most vulnerable to me? And what's the best way to protect the victims?
Okay.
If you act on these answers, you get a +1 going forward while the information is relevant.
Hot. Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? There's like a lot going on all of a sudden.
There is a lot going on all of a sudden. I think the biggest thing that you maybe haven't noticed is that this fire is slowly consuming this tree, possibly to spread to other nearby trees.
Oh man. What's the best way to protect the victims?
Best way to protect the victims, of which there are, it's just basically you guys right now. I mean, I guess unless this whole thing spreads through town, but that's, who can say, is to stop the fire. Stop the fire.
Neat. What's my best way in?
It's an interesting question.
I'm like,
What's my best
How
way
do
to
stop?
stop fire?
that's why I was like, hey, if it's a mystery, I can ask what can hurt it, but I can't. I know it's not water.
Yeah, so let's see. You get the sense you have just seen this person you think of as Faye. A weird fire has started up. You think the best way to fight fire is with something equally weird, perhaps magic.
Oh. So we just kind of throw Lee at it? And be like, hug the fire. Put it out. Your angels. No, oh man, this fire's like, it could be spreading, man. It's eating that tree. Probably into weird. Stop it. I don't know what that means. It's what it said on Reddit.
I'm not used to fire specifically, but I could try something. Could I try to use magic on the fire?
Yeah, roll me a use magic plus weird.
All right. Oh. What is my weird? My weird is a +1. I got a 6 and a 1, so we're looking at a 7, just barely passing.
Nice. When you use magic, say what you're trying to achieve and how you do the spell, then roll plus weird. On a 7 to 9, it works in perfectly. Choose your effect and a glitch. The keeper will decide what effect the glitch has. So, first, tell me what this looks like.
I think that Lee does kind of flicker briefly as they're running towards the fire, and instead of the very reassuringly innocuous person in a turtleneck that you normally see, like you instead see just like a person kind of coated in like glowing white light and also eyeballs, just eyeballs everywhere. And probably I think what Lee is going for here is just basically jets of water shooting out of the eyeballs that are all over like their arms and chest and face at the water. Would be what I'm attempting to do here.
Nice.
The lacrimal attack.
Mm-hmm. Just your normal biblical firefighting situation.
All right, so that's a 7 to 9, so you can choose one effect and a glitch. Wait, I think I decide the glitch?
I imagine that would be do one thing that's beyond human limitations.
Yeah, that seems like the only thing that comes close to matching what I want. So, one
makes
thing
sense.
beyond human limitations.
Yeah, no, it works out. You shoot a bunch of magic water out of your many, many eyeballs, and manage to douse this fire. It's pretty great. However, as you get close, the fire itself seems to react and suddenly swells much larger and goes like, and you just take a tiny little fire burn. And is that ignoring armor? It is ignoring armor. So you have been scalded in one of your many eyeballs. It hurts. You can't see as well.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. So don't forget to mark harm on your sheet.
I
We'll
will.
talk more about harm when it comes up. All right, but you successfully doused the fire. That was weird times. Just a couple seconds later, you hear a fire truck. I'm going to say a fire alarm, but it's a fire truck. You hear a fire truck approaching and see lights. Do you want to hang out and talk to the fire people? Or do you want to get going? Do you want to have a picnic? What you going to do?
What happened to that girl?
She was gone, man. I was just thinking, I don't know if we could see if she left any tracks or what.
I think we should go see what she was doing.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Also, did anybody else see Lee?
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
just checking. Okay.
No.
Me neither.
Yeah, Lee's walking back, absolutely looks normal again, but slightly singed and probably actually has visible burns. And they're just like, wow, that was harrowing, but very normal. Everything about it was pretty normal.
Pretty normal.
Don's just gonna nod and shakily light a cigarette.
Darling, you've got
Yeah,
the
we
shakes. Do you want a little shelf-stable tripe?
That's awful.
I would love some.
Can we have
Awful
the
as hell.
ASMR of what the consumption of a package of tripe sounds like while you're smoking a cigarette at the same time? Bet you that is a delicious flavor too. Bro, just gagged a little bit, just thinking
For more delicious flavors, listen to our main pod.
Yeah, shelf-stable tripe is my favorite Goof Tune flavor.
So you going to check out where the girl was? Right? Someone, I don't care who, someone will investigate a mystery for me.
I want to investigate that mystery a little bit, but who hasn't rolled? Has everybody rolled yet? Has everyone dropped
I think
a roll?
we all have.
I've rolled lots of rolls.
I'd love to investigate this mystery, but it'd be really cool if someone could help me out.
Yes, let's do a help out.
I meant
Help
the cool.
out. Can you help another roll plus cool?
Yes.
I have a -1 cool, so I would not be great at that. Anybody got a plus cool?
I'm rocking a +1 cool.
Oh,
Whoa, that's
You're
way
so
cooler than me.
Yeah.
Minus one.
what's cooler than being cool? Covered in eyeballs. As the
Eyes
Outcast
cold.
song goes. Eyes cold. Oh my god.
Nice. Eyes cold.
Oh, beautiful.
Sky Metal.
Hero point.
Wow. Hero Sky Metal Point inspiration.
So I guess I'll roll to help out.
Okay, when you help another hunter, roll plus cool. On a 10+, your help grants them +1 to their roll. On a 7 through 9, your help grants them +1, but you expose yourself to trouble or danger. And on a failure, things go bad.
I did not help.
Did not help. Was that a 5? No. What did you roll?
I rolled a 4.
Oh,
I
worse.
rolled a 5.
All right, so let's do the help out roll first. Mark experience. What are you trying to do to help?
Okay.
I mean, we're trying to case the joint, looking for signs of this Fey mystery girl who disappeared in a burst of flame a moment ago.
So instead of helping, you get in close, and you can just barely see where this girl was standing, and there are just a series of foot tracks where she was kind of moving, or as being a human or whatever she is, just standing. So there's some series of tracks. Where you might have seen them lead off, however, is quickly being destroyed by the rain. You're just not quite fast enough to get there on time. Lee, as you try to help out, you are going to you suddenly feel a strange sensation as you walk across this lake where the girl is standing, and look down and see your shoe is coated in mud and also something faintly sparkly, and you start to feel very drowsy, and that is all that happens for now.
Oh, come on. I'm supposed to be Crockett. You're supposed to be Tubbs. Okay, I'm going to just keep dropping these, like, when was... Miami Vice was like 80...
Miami Vice was 80s, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I want that boat. I loved his boathouse.
Oh. Zeke would be kind of running up with the binoculars and looking all around, see if he catches any glimpse. Just want to roll his own investigate, if that's allowed.
I don't know if it is, so I'm going to say yes. Go for it.
Yay. That is a 7 + 1 for an 8.
Excellent. You can ask
Why
one.
can't I get experience?
You can ask one of the questions.
Where did it go?
Let's see. You run up a little bit after everyone else. You aren't quite fast enough to follow the tracks. But instead you do see this faint sort of glittery dust that Lee has just walked through. Seems to take a trail off to the edge of the field and then into a copse of trees.
Okay. Oh. I think her, what's it called? Pixie dust went that way towards the cops. Not like Turner, but like the tree cops.
I don't know. I still think this is like something weird. Not like very weird though, but like I don't know. Like maybe it's like some kind of government thing, and maybe they spreading PCP around and making us see things. She had that weird powder, and I could have sworn I saw Lee covered in eyes earlier, and we know that doesn't happen. So it's got to be something else weird, right?
Well, I mean, as someone that might have served in the custodial and lunch lady program during the MK Ultra experiments, I can tell you that the government is no longer willy-nilly dropping, for the most part, psychedelics upon the unknowing public. Kind of like waned that out right before the culottes came in the 90s. It's a little in-joke that only people inside of our Discord tier, like our internal, cast member Discord tier, to be established, could see. But she like reaches down and like puts a little of the fairy dust in her mouth. Does anything bad happen? I feel bad, but I feel like that's really like how she would have played it.
You immediately feel very ill and just vomit up your whole Pepto-Bismol martini.
But best thing about a Pepto-Bismol Autoliton is that it's actually better coming up than it is going down. So Gags like a little bit more.
Get a double layer of coating on.
Right. It just slides out. It's almost like it's passive. I found the through line with all of my characters, finally. But yeah, no. So like she's like, oof. That is like shelf unstable tripe, which I have tried, and it is absolutely terrible. This is not something that should be manufactured by humans. I don't even know if this is from here. Probably throws up again for good measure.
It's got plainer taste buds. This tastes like first world.
Right, it's got a bit of Fey fennel. Oh my god, Brixby. No, it's got a bit of Fey fennel. It's like really hard when the voices are similar to not just go into it. Sorry for whoever is editing this one.
So, should we check out the trees then and see if maybe that's the way she went, if she ran off when that tree lit on fire?
Yeah, we probably shouldn't be here with the whole fire brigade. Which I imagine is also the detective, because this town only has like one civil servant.
It's the one guy.
And he's like wearing his notary outfit because he was doing something before. It's really embarrassing.
He's actually wearing scrubs because he was also the one stitching up Frank at the hospital.
Zeke looks nervously at the fact that his car is probably the only vehicle parked at the park, but then he remembers that the only cop who could look up a license plate is watching Steinfeld, the legally distinct show about nothings. And he's just like, if this, like, fairy woman can make weather and fire come down, maybe we should, like, be prepared. And he also has a small handgun that he'll pull out from the small of his back. It's like, I'm not, like, the best at using this, but maybe it'll hurt a fairy if I have to. I don't know. I should go on Reddit.
I mean, it's all just a bunch of stuff they make up to cover up what's really going on, but according to all the, like, myths and legends, isn't, like, iron supposed to hurt him? I mean, granted, bullets are lead, but it's close enough, right?
I guess.
Maybe we should get a cast iron skillet. I certainly don't have any weapons that would work.
Like a tire iron in the back of the van.
I mean,
A couple of you have moves for this
Right.
to grab random things.
Oh, yes. Yeah, let me see.
Yeah, I mean, I can produce. I wouldn't worry too much about. She pats her, like, large side bag. I bring a lot with me. Yeah, I've got a move for that. We could probably produce a thing that we might need down the line. But we should probably find this person first before we worry about being appropriately armed to kill them.
It's all just a misunderstanding. It's just a cultural thing. I scrape off
That's how
a
she says
line of
hello.
flesh, and you're supposed to scrape me back, and then I don't know,
We're
we do
best
the
friends.
gladiator handshake, and we're friends.
Yeah.
To the woods.
The woods. All right. So you follow this, all of you following Zeke, presumably, who has sort of the lead on this trail of what you've called pixie dust. It takes off in the copse of woods, and as you're leaving, as you're disappearing into the trees, you can hear a fire engine pull up behind you, and people are like some shouting, and you're like, man, that storm came out of nowhere. I know, it was another one of them freak occurrences. Yep, says the third person, just so that we have a list of items. And you all take off into the trees. Now, they start to get thicker and thicker and thicker, and actually what happens is they sort of wrap around and form the forest that Freya's Fjord is built inside of. So you're kind of getting around that back way. And it's not, it's technically after hours, as we've discussed, it's a school night, but it's an open range mini golf course, so you can get in without too much trouble. You wander for a while, for much longer than it seems like you should be able to, and eventually come across a large clearing in the middle of which is a big gray stone circle.
Is this a bad situation yet? I'm like looking at my moves. But the idea of approaching a clearing with what I assume to be some sort of like standing stones or something sounds horrifying.
I'd say it could be a read a bad situation. I'll give you that.
All right. I'm gonna read a little bad situation here. This situation does not look good. No. nor does my roll. Which I roll a 7.
Okay, so you can ask one question.
Are there any dangers here we haven't noticed? She's feeling protective.
As you approach, the rain is sort of tapering off, the wind has died down, and in fact it sort of feels like you're in like a whole different world. Like where you just were, it was pouring rain, there was lightning striking the ground, there was a fire going on, maybe someone had a bunch of eyes, IDK. And this is now completely silent, almost too quiet. Like you don't even hear any bugs. And as you're standing there kind of examining this stone circle, which indeed, as you said, has those standing rocks around it, kind of like a mini Stonehenge, you notice the edges of your vision have started to go dark. And you turn and see that the clearing itself is starting to go dark. What do you do?
Who's like the cool head of this party exactly?
Perhaps now would be the time for something like a flashlight.
Perhaps. I think I might actually. So wait, like the edges of like our vision is getting dark, but are we feeling anything else physiologically? Are we feeling like sleepy or like we're like losing consciousness or anything?
Nope, you feel pretty normal, maybe a little on edge.
Can others read bad situations? I'm relatively inexperienced with this.
Yes, go ahead.
What is the one for read?
Sharp.
That's a sharp.
Sharp? Oh, I have a +2 sharp.
Oh no, my first experience. Snake eyes. So that's a 1 plus 1 is a 3. So I think, yeah, Zeke is not sure what's going on.
Zeke, as you look around to try and sort of understand where this darkness is coming from, you blink and find yourself engulfed in darkness. You suddenly can't see anything. You can't see your hand in front of your face. And the other three of you, Zeke is gone. Where Zeke was is just a shadow of darkness. And we're going to not roll for initiative. There's a cat in front of me and it's very distracting. We're not going to roll for initiative. We are going to do some potential fighting here. So, Zeke, you feel a huge, heavy hand come down on your shoulder, and this is like crushing pain. You think perhaps I don't know what is your gear like? What do you have armor on?
No.
Ooh, bummer.
No, he's got a small handgun and no armor.
Right. So you feel this hand come down on your shoulder and it hurts. It's like someone has just like it's just a massive hand and someone has just grabbed you and it's like, ow, I can't use that arm right now. I am stuck. I am trapped here. You try and look over, but you still can't see anything. Instead, you hear a voice very close to your ear. The voice says, "Puny human." And you, let's see, you feel something hot and sharp crush against your side. And you said you don't have any armor? All right. Well, good news and bad news. You're going to take 3 harm.
Ooh, that's a lot.
But yeah, it is a lot. It's a whole bunch. It's a lot of harm. Just so we're clear, you can take up to 7 harm before dying, and at 4 harm you become unstable, where the harm increases unless it's treated. So 3 harm is a lot. It's not a good thing. But we are in a fight right now, and there are things you can do to mitigate that, such as kick some butt, for example. So this person has just kicked some butt at you. Why don't you go ahead and roll me, I think it's plus tough, unless you have a move that says otherwise.
No, not for butt kicking. Oh boy. Putting those d6s in the no-no pile. Ooh, that's an 11 off the dice plus 0, but still an 11.
Really nice. Nice. Okay, let's see. So on a 10 plus, You gain an advantage. You can take plus forward or give 1 forward to another hunter. You can inflict terrible harm. You suffer less harm, or you force them where you want them. I'm going to say for this one, you do have a weapon out. Never mind. I was going to say you can't inflict terrible harm, but you do know where this is coming from, so you have a weapon out. If you wanted, you could harm them back.
Yeah, I think less out of just like being a violent person so much as like, oh god, I'm gonna die. He would take that savage blow and then he would try to inflict terrible harm, which
Awesome.
would be, his weapon normally does 2, so it would be 3 back to them. It is loud.
It is loud. So this gun goes off in your hand, and you feel this hand come off of your shoulder as this presence that has been lurking behind you kind of stumbles back. The darkness fades. You can suddenly see all 3 of your friends are kind of standing there like, what? Perhaps looking a little shocked because right behind you, and now bleeding somewhat from a stomach wound, I guess, is a huge 7-foot-tall hulking creature with gray skin and red eyes. They have a little tunic on that's spattered with something red. They have a tiny little cap on their head that is also very red, and they are holding a giant pole axe in their hand that is now doused in your blood. Not doused, it's splashed. It's got a good amount of blood on there.
Yeah.
It's got blood highlights.
Okay, so there's a giant guy. He looks upset. He has just attacked your friend for quite a few harm, and you have just attacked him for a fair amount of harm in turn.
What is the action economy like? Do we just what's
It's
initiative?
a free for all. Whoever talks first goes. I mean, not literally. Like if someone keeps talking,
No, I
then
know.
I will say someone else should go. But it really is whoever acts first gets there first. So Zeke is just gone, so I'm going to say Zeke is going to be on hold for a little bit. But what are the rest of you doing?
Question.
Mm-hmm.
So, because the first little opening was taking place in a bar, there is a piece of my gear that I chose that Don did not have physically on him because he wouldn't have it in a bar. But could I say that maybe he grabbed it out of his car before we left the parking lot?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Then he will pull out his 357 Magnum and aim it at this strange gray-skinned creature in the red cap.
Now, would you say that you're trying to kick some butt or protect someone?
I think he is trying to protect someone because he sees Zeke being attacked and he is attempting to... he's attempting to hurt this thing, but he's doing it in a way that he's trying to get it off Zeke more than he is trying to fight it.
Right. Okay. So for protect someone, it's also going to be plus tough, but the outcomes are going to be slightly different.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, same roll, so I'm still rolling with a +0. It's just a straight die roll, but different stuff will happen. Ooh, that's not great. I'm a point away from a level up at least, but that is a 5 total because it was a 5 on the dice, and I don't have anything to that. My tough is a 0.
5. Ooh, let's see. So on a 10 plus, you choose an extra. On a success, you can protect them, but you'll take the harm yourself. On a miss, you end up making things worse. So you attempt to... I don't know anything about guns.
No.
But you attempt to fire off this shot, and I guess it backfires.
Well,
it just hits you in the
if you've ever
shoulder
seen
real
the,
hard.
Dirty Harry movies, that's the gun that he's pulling out, basically.
Yeah, I haven't, but it does that and backfires. It just sort of explodes in your hands, and you take... How many harm does it do?
I believe it does 3.
Yikes, you guys. Are you wearing any
Yeah,
armor?
no, it's a very big gun. I am not. He is wearing a rumpled suit.
All right, so that rumpled suit looks real rumpled now as you take 3 harm from this gun just sort of exploding in your hands. I'm pretty sure it's not going to work, at least for a while. You got to get that fixed first.
Do you have quick clear?
Yeah, no, unfortunately, I did not take that feat.
Oh.
No, that's technically, it's not a feat. It's a gunslinger or whatever.
All right, Jerry
Level
and
1
Lee.
deed.
Deed, that's the word.
Well, I think that Lee probably before they saw Don's gun explode in his hand, probably rushed over to Zeke to attempt to lay on hands to deal with the horrible wound from the axe. I think that
I would
Okay.
like to help them out with that role, specifically because of how lay on hands went the last time, and we have a relationship of advisory relationship.
Fair.
that would be much
Alright.
appreciated.
So again, we're gonna try and take that. Take this lay on hands. You can heal someone. Well, Lee, what did you roll?
I got a 6 + 1 for a 7, just
Okay.
barely squeaking over the line to a partial success there.
Excellent. And then Jerry rolled a 5,
Yep.
which is a failure to help. What happens when you fail to help?
You make it worse, for
Yeah.
sure.
I had a feeling.
You don't get experience for both rolling a highlighted skill and failing, right? It's like one or the other.
I don't know, and I don't want to look it up, so I'm gonna say take your both experience. Take both experiences.
Wow, I'm at a 3 out of 5 there. Which I know is actually still kind of trailing some people here. The average. Oh my god, no, it is true. I feel like if you did, I would love if someone did crunch the average of our rolls in even just one of these, because this one is abysmal, I think, for all of us.
It's been brutal.
Yeah.
Jeff had that really
It's great
nice
for me.
5-6.
All right. So
My
let's
first
resolve.
roll was a 9.
Let's resolve the lay on hands first. So you've got a 7 through 9, which means you can heal the harm or illness, but you take it onto yourself. So I'm going to say you can heal up to 2 of that harm. Zeke, you can take 2 harm off your character sheet, reduce down to 1 harm total. Lee, you are going to take 2 harm instead. And how that looks is you go to do the same thing. You put your hands over, they start to glow. Maybe we see an extra eyeball or 2. And this time that wound does successfully start to heal up. But as you're going, you see it start to spread open on your own, the same place where it was. So open up on your side. And you
Now-
will now take 2 harm.
Any chance that harm does not ignore armor?
I don't know. I'm gonna say it ignores one harm because I'm not sure. So we're gonna homebrew it and we're gonna say you can have
Diplomatic.
Thank
1
you.
harm.
Are you wearing like plate mail? Are you like the only armor?
He's got the
realtor?
dogma under the trench coat
Well, they're
armor.
wearing a stylish turtleneck that sometimes is a glowing robes of white covered in eyeballs, depending on the angle.
And who rats. Yeah, right. Okay, so successful-ish lay on hands. You got a little hurt yourself. You're both now at 1 harm, I believe, both Lee and Zeke. Jerry comes over to try to help out and instead wanders directly into the path of this now very irritated, large gray creature.
Oh no!
It is going to kick some butt against you also. So I'm going to
Oh,
roll.
my butt. I need that to live.
All
Wait, should
right.
we have luck?
We
You do have
Do
luck.
we have luck?
You do have luck.
How much
We have
luck
not
do-
talked about luck. Everyone has 3 points of luck.
Oh.
That could come in very handy for not dying.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is very handy for that. Just so listeners at home know, luck essentially gives you an automatic 12 on a roll. You only have,
you
typically
can
you have
avoid-
7 for a whole arc, but we're doing a 1 shot, so I'm giving everyone 3 points of luck. When that luck runs out, bad things happen. Did you want to use a luck point?
I don't know. Can I do it? So do you have to say it before you receive harm?
Nah.
When it says avoid all harm? I want to see how bad the harm is. If it's harm light, I might just take the harm.
It's gonna be. Oh, hang on. He does not get you with the pole axe. he does get you. And it is going to be with, wait for it. He's going to get you with the talons, which is just a 1. He just one harms you.
Yeah. You and what
you,
harm me?
you in turn, you can roll and harm him back, potentially.
Oh, yay. You are going to get so harmed by Jerry, who is going to reach into her mauve, cloth and voluminous, like side bag purse and remove one of her monster hunting implements. To believe she will pull out the sawed-off shotgun, and she will make horror. It's not even her most intense weapon. She's going to make her roll at tough here. Oh my God! It is boxcars. It's 2 6s plus a 1. It's 13.
Very nice.
Oh my God! Thank you. Roll 20.
There is a world, we are not in that world, but there is a world where you can do like advanced moves, where if you get a 13 or up, you get some additional things. We are not playing. I think we have to be further along in the thing. It's one shot, so nothing happens there. But you do roll a +10, and on a +10, you can choose one extra effect. You gain the advantage, take +1 forward, or give +1 forward to another hunter. You inflict terrible harm, which is going to be +1 harm in addition to whatever you already inflicted. You suffer less harm, which would remove any harm that you'd suffer initially because you'd only suffered 1 harm, or you force them where you want them.
But because I'm over... Oh, yeah. Perfect. Wow. Yeah. No, the advanced ones look so sick. I'm going to say that we do... I'm fine being a little harmed. Let's just add another terrible harm on there, so that would make that 4 in total.
All right.
Dang.
And she reloads with the
Jerry with the boom.
Yeah.
dinner served. Yeah, that's like her.
This guy in his red hat and little spattered tunic does not look good. In fact, he's bleeding quite heavily, panting kind of heavily, and leaning tower overing you all, and says, "Next time." And as he says this darkness starts to surround him again. And before any of you can interact to move, the darkness swallows him whole. And when it reappears into light, when it undarknesses, he is gone. But hey, you survived your first fight. No one died.
Yeah. Good job. Excellent fighting, everyone. Dawn, are you okay? I imagine it's like the
I
Looney
think I need to go
Tunes,
join
like,
Frank at that
face.
hospital.
It's like blown back kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah, he is a point away from being unstable.
Yeah, man, thanks for trying to jump in there. Sorry that old Magnum messed up on you.
Yeah, apparently firing revolvers in the rain is not the best idea. You're okay, though?
Yeah, Lee was like really encouraging, and that just helped me feel a lot better.
Would you like me to encourage you, Don?
I think maybe I'll see if we have a first aid kit in the van or something.
Are you sure? It's no bother.
No, I'm good.
It's just
Thinking
it's
back
normal.
to first what happened to Frank and then watching you heal Zeke and take the wound onto yourself.
Yeah, they're just standing there with like a gash that's very similar to the one that Zeke had before.
Yeah.
Do you want us to saunter to the hospital? Everything is about 4 minutes from each other in this
That's
town.
true. As you're discussing this, you hear voices start to come through the trees and recall that you just fired off a gun a couple times, not too far from where the fire department had been.
And the second one would probably very loud, considering it exploded.
And then a shotgun went off.
Oh, yeah, then a shotgun.
So 3
Three
guns.
guns.
Three guns.
Three, yeah.
So
We're just having a military funeral over here.
yeah, we're almost there.
Yeah.
Curious. So you said
18 more to
before.
go.
Before it felt like we were in like a whole other world. The way the rain had died down. Do we still see the stones? Are we still in this clearing?
You still see the stones. You still see the clearing. Seems very unremarkable now. You can hear bugs again. You can hear voices of the fire peoples coming through the trees. But the stone circle is still there.
Any sign of the pixie dust trail? Do I need to roll again?
It disappears into the middle of the stone circle and then goes away. It just stops in the middle of the circle.
It's probably totally safe to go in there.
Probably.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If this is the fire department, I say that we should come up with a good story for exercising our Second Amendment on a school night.
Oh, it's a school night. Crazy thought though. If we don't want to deal with them, we could follow this trail of pixie dust into the middle of the circle of stones where it disappears. Probably go to like a Fey world and hang out there for a little bit. Maybe murder some murderers.
I've been following pixie dust before you were a gleam in your father's eye. And I am too old a woman, and it is a school night, and it is actually Meatloaf Monday tomorrow. Actually, I don't know what day it is, but we
Said before it was Tuesday.
7 days of school.
Yeah. And you also specifically mentioned having served food the previous 2 days.
Yeah.
And like you don't
It
even
should
have
be
to put
real
the
interesting
food
if
out.
it's Monday.
Meatloaf seconds tomorrow or something like that. Shelf-stable meatloaf.
It's midweek meatloaf, and
Midweek Meatloaf Monday.
yeah, the kids love midweek Monday meatloaf. It's when we serve the Monday meatloaf midweek. It ripens. It develops with age, much like me. But we should, instead of following the fairy dust, we could also run. But otherwise, we're going to have to come up with a good story very soon.
Yeah, I'd love to follow the fairy dust, but he just holds up his, like, mangled hands. I think I kind of want to get this looked at real quick before I can't use these anymore for anything.
Maybe, Jerry, you could put your shotgun back in your bag. I can pull out my binoculars, and we could pretend we were trying to, like, shoot birds in the rain. I don't know.
I love the idea of being like, oh my god, we heard gunshots in the middle of the night. What are you doing? Oh, don't worry about it. We're just shooting birds in the rain.
Just poaching.
This is America. Haven't you had a night bird shoot?
So I love the idea of putting away the shotgun. Like,
Oh yeah, no, it goes right back into the purse. That is part of her magic.
well, no, I just mean, like, if we're trying to think of, like, an excuse, like, oh yeah, no, we're out shooting birds with a handgun.
With a handgun in the
Like,
thunderstorm.
don't hide Don's gun, hide the shotgun.
Fox hunting, I don't know.
Okay. Are you permitted? Are you gentlemen permitted to carry your firearms?
Yeah.
The one
Listen,
that
I'm
blew
not a
up,
cop. I
definitely.
legally have to tell you, but I just want to know.
Don't entrap them, Jerry.
Yeah, the one that blew up, I definitely am permitted to carry, and that is the only one currently visible.
Because we could also say that we were out on a school night on our way home, and that we, understandably, were concerned about the recent attack and thought that it might be the wild animal or other reasonable, non-supernatural or supernal thing that it could have been.
The
And
bobcat
that
with
we-
one claw.
Right, absolutely. Or like one of the handfast
those
hyenas that escaped from the zoo and have been reproducing freely on Freya's golf course for the last 45 years.
Yeah. Or we were looking for those kids that Ed said would be out here stabbing people.
That's what I mean. Somewhere in between a pack of hyenas or kids.
Hey,
So
what
we
are
should
you
probably
guys
tell them
doing?
we were scaring off hyenas and kids.
And you see some flashlights start to come through the trees, and you see just like 2 or 3. I don't know. You're not. Yeah. Okay. It's the single cop.
Like volunteer firemen.
Yeah, it's a single cop accompanied by 2 volunteer firemen with all with flashlights. What are you doing here? And the officer Turner comes up to you. It's like, well, this is real doozy. How'd you find yourselves at the side of a fire?
Fire? Man, I didn't. I mean, I saw like the rain. Is there a fire right now? Knowing full well the fire is out, homie. What are you talking about?
Sure is, or was. You know, we got it put out just fine, and by put out I mean we arrived after it was out. But the signs of fire are still there, and it's very suspicious because there was no sign of storms tonight. It just kind of came out of nowhere. So I'm wondering what y'all are doing here and how you seem to know where trouble's gonna be.
Definitely not controlling the weather. We don't do. That's the Shriners.
Shriners. Yeah, absolutely.
We were looking for Shriners and shooting birds.
Yeah, there was like the snowstorm a couple weeks ago and a flood a week ago, and now this like crazy rainstorm, man. Like,
Yeah.
it seems like trouble's all over town. It's not anything to do with us.
Sure. Well, just strange that you're here.
Also, you said there was a fight. God, now I'm talking like Zeke. I can't keep just his voice. You said there was a fire. It's in the middle of a rainstorm. You know there can't be a fire when there's rain coming down too hard to even see, right? I think you guys are all just out too late on a school night and maybe should just head back. I mean, you said you wanted to finish watching Steinfeld, right?
That's true.
And can he roll a manipulate on that?
Yeah.
You're going
Sure, you
to
guys
fire
should just get out of here.
explain to these 5 volunteer firefighters.
Yeah, go for it.
Gaslight.
And I get to roll that with my sharp instead of my charm because of my neat thing that I have. So that is a 4 and a 3. So that is a 9 total.
Okay.
Which,
If someone helps out, you have the potential. I mean, you could make it much worse, or you have the potential for this
Yeah.
person to leave just because you asked them to, which would be impressive and
yeah,
hilarious.
if anybody's willing to do a help out, if I get one more, that puts me in the best result mode.
Yeah, I mean, Zeke was already kind of talking, so it kind of makes sense. His cool is -1, so I might just...
You gotta roll an 8.
I'll roll it, and then am I allowed to spend the luck to change it to a 12? Oh, is this to change a roll to a 12?
Yes.
So we'll see. I'll hold on to that possibility, because that -1 is not great. That would be a 4, so I'm going to turn a 4 total. I'm going to spend a luck, make it a 12 to be like the most helpful, convincing person.
So, Officer Turner? I really need to write these down. I mean, they're written down. Yes, Officer Turner looks at you guys kind of skeptically and says, well, I did want to finish Steinfeld, and you're right, it is mighty weird that we don't have that there's a fire in the rainstorm, and with the flooding last week and the snowstorm the week before, I mean, these kids are getting up to all kinds of stuff. Well, I guess you're right, and I'll leave you alone here shooting your birds and starting fires and other things. Just a real quick question before I go. Y'all haven't heard anything from takes out a notebook and flips open a couple pages, like from Max Tilly, have you? You heard anything about Max?
No.
Wait,
Oh,
is Max
would
the
we-
little kid with the...
Ooh, sky metal. Max is, you would all, or some of you, at least one of you would know.
Oh, the one
Max's
that he
little kid
did.
who is collecting
Lee gave the card
Lee
to.
business cards.
Yes,
Like, oh, well.
We saw Max earlier. He, my voice has changed again. I can't seem to pin it down. But Max, I gave him one of my business cards back when he was hanging out at the bar, knocking back a few tall boys about 9 o'clock.
Never too young to buy a house.
At about 9 o'clock. Now, it just so happens that apparently around 9:30 was the last anyone saw Max. Now, his mom is home worried sick. His daddy's all over the place trying to drive around and find this child. It's the strangest dang thing. Now, y'all haven't heard. You swear. You promise me now you haven't heard from him, this child who might have communicated with you, adult men. And Lee.
Excuse me.
I'm so sorry.
Remember we told you like Frank came in and was all hurt at the pub? Like everyone just kind of scattered after that. It was like a traumatic incident. I hope he's okay.
Well, all right then.
And for the record, that accusation, shooting birds, starting fires, I mean, we didn't start the fire. It was always burning. Since the world's been turning.
Well, we didn't light it, but we were trying to fight it. Or we would have if we'd seen it, but you said it's already gone.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
Well, you folks stay out of trouble now. I got this thing to deal with. There was some sort of mystery fire. Now, this little boy is missing. It's been a real hectic week for us here. Why don't y'all turn in? And he nods at Dawn. Says, you especially, you look real messed up. It's mighty suspicious, but I don't know what the kids are doing these days. All right, I'm going to bed.
Don, with his hand still behind his back and probably blood pooling under him, just kind of nods back like, yeah.
I love the idea of the law enforcement professional clearly seeing you with like a gunshot, something happened to your face. Like, how is your face looking right now? What is injured specifically?
Well, I imagined it if it blew up that it was like his hands got all
it's your hand got
destroyed.
mangled. It didn't backfire into your. Okay, fair.
I feel like he'd be dead if a 57 Magnum blew up into his face.
I don't know. We're kind of playing by Looney Tunes rules here
Yeah,
to a
you're
degree.
fine.
So
Yeah.
I'm also envisioning like a version of the song that you referenced, but from like 2015. That's like culottes, Fetty Wap, something. But no, we're not gonna keep talking about what was cool in 2015. I had that conversation with my partner when we were upstairs. I was like, F leisure and face tattoos. And then we talked about the song Trap Queen, and we're like, we are freaking ancient. We are so old.
Getting up there.
Oh my God.
All right, so you've successfully warded off the single cop and his volunteer fireman friends. One of you is bleeding profusely. Some of you are bleeding just a little. Actually, all of you, I think, are bleeding just a little bit.
at least a little.
What do you want to do?
So-
It's late. It's now probably around approaching 11 midnight.
I know it's a school night, but I don't know if you guys have places to go back to, but I want to kind of continue to look into this, and I'm thinking about going to the place where I like to do my work, if anybody wants to come.
Do you work in the middle of Standing Stones by chance? Because I'm really tempted to, follow the pixie dust, but I guess we can find it again tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, we could We could probably find this again tomorrow. I just want to know a little bit more about what we're going. And no, it's not Standing Stones. It's a decommissioned walk-in at the school. But I have a formidable library there. And some protections.
All right. I mean, I almost got like cut in half by a 7-foot tall dude with a tiny hat. I think we should look into that.
Agreed. What about you? Dawn? Lee?
I mean, we definitely should look into that at some point. Agree. I think I'm suffering from, like, severe blood loss at this point, though.
Well, perhaps we should stop at the hospital, or I can give you some encouragement.
We also have some shelf-stable Canadian bacon that is indistinguishable from human skin that we could just layer.
I almost want to let Lee do it just to see if he fails again and goes to 5 wounds over.
That would be horrific. It is kind of like, I do sort of appreciate a world where, like, the use of magic does have such a potential for, especially like healing, potentially harm you.
No, I just can't get past the thought of like a skin graft just being Canadian bacon.
just laid across your arm.
Just absolutely
Like
preservative.
the dog with the ham on its
Canadian
face.
So
This is in reference to the fact that I'm playing an expert, and the thing that an expert gets is a haven.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a set up safe place to work.
Yeah, you have like a safe house.
Yeah. Oh wait, I can pick 3 and I only chose 2. Oh shoot. Well, it would be kind of unfair if I picked the 3rd one.
Pick a third
Would
one.
you like to pick
it's
the
a
third one?
shot.
Okay. Well, I am going to also designate it an infirmary, because that is a third use
perfect.
of this place, which
Yeah.
otherwise is a lore library, which means we can get a +1 for investigating the mystery, and it has protection spells, which makes us safe from monsters. They cannot enter, although monsters may be able to do something special to get in, contingent on how the keeper plays it. So this is the decommissioned walk-in cooler at McLaughlin Elementary.
just so happens to back up against the nurse's office. So
Well, no, it's the infirmary because
It's mostly the bacon.
Jerry's been stealing all of the stuff out of the nurse's office.
now, if
All right,
monsters
so we're
can't
heading
get in,
to-
can Lee get in?
I'm gonna say Lee's fine.
Just a normal person.
Yeah, just a normal guy. Just a
Normal human
guy.
being. Guy
Human
normal
Lee,
man.
that's what they call them.
It's an infirmary, and what was the other one? Infirmary, lore,
it is a
protection
lore
spells.
library and protection spells. Yeah.
Got it. All right. So you hasten your way there. I assume you drive in your nice van. And you
Ooh,
arrive.
which
What is
van
it?
is the nice van? Don't you both have vans?
I feel like Don's probably blew away in the store.
Don, he's ragging on your van.
No, man, the van again is where it's at.
Yeah. No, I said Don's blew away in
Oh.
the storm.
Oh, yeah, wait, my bad. I'm
Also,
sorry,
technically, his is still at the, because I did not
That is
mark it
fair.
as part of my gear. His is still parked at the,
Don also
Or-
probably can't really drive right now, what with the exploded hands.
yeah, true.
With the exploded hands.
Good point.
Plus, it was parked there for too late on a school night, so Ed came by and picked it up, like, just with his hands and walked off.
All right. So you've arrived here. Did you say it's near the school? Did I miss that completely?
It's in,
It's in the
In the
school.
school.
In the
Yeah.
It's in the school.
It's one of the meat lockers,
yeah,
right?
It's one of the
Didn't you say?
decommissioned walk-in fridges in the back. But it also, like, she's kind of just, like, ferreted it out. I think I'd like to play off of that lead. Yeah, there's, like, a way into the nurse's office. And I'd also like to think that there's, like, a pool that they don't use anymore, but she has access to the room where the pool is. So we can also relax a little bit.
I like that they don't need the walk-in fridge anymore because everything's shelf-stable.
That's it. I mean, she's really revolutionized like nutrition for children. When you
Any
asked,
elementary school has a pool, which is in itself pretty awesome.
I mean, okay, so it's kind of in reference to like the most horrific "Are You Afraid of the Dark" episode for me.
Yep.
The one where they're like, "Yeah, don't worry about that swimming pool that has the invisible skeleton that drowns you."
Yes.
Because that is just like, as a
That
child.
was a bad one.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a child.
That was not the worst one for me, but that was a bad
That
one.
was a pretty bad one. I mean, to be fair, it was cool because you could defeat it with science. You like poured
Yeah.
chlorine in, and somehow
Yeah.
everyone knows chlorine is the enemy of
Well,
skeletons.
I thought
And,
they
like,
poured lye
No, I
on
think
it.
they used.
Oh, was it lye?
Yeah, with some kind of acid. Yeah.
Yeah. Regardless,
I think it was like hydrochloric
Oh,
acid.
was it? I was
Wasn't it? Yeah.
pour acid on a skeleton.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that terrified me in terms of like swimming in pools, which you would think would be safe
Mm-hmm.
compared to like ponds, lakes, streams.
That was like the
rivers.
scariest looking monster of all, and just like the dripping
Right.
red skeleton.
Yeah, it was like a strippy kind of gory skeleton. The like lake where they pulled you over and drowned you was also pretty terrifying. I think there was another "Are You Afraid of the Dark" where like the children were like floating under the water. Kind of see. Anyway, sorry, I have totally pulled this off the rails, but this is the conversation we're having where she's like, they're like laying parallel under the water while they're floating. Anyway, it was many years ago because the year is 2015.
I'm gonna say you're having a portion of this conversation while poring over your. Some of you are poring over books. Some of you are poring over your dripping arms. And let's see, Dawn, you can heal one immediately, and the other two, will heal overnight.
Okay. Will they
Um,
both heal overnight?
Yeah, it's a one shot.
Okay.
It's a school night.
Okay. Yeah. True.
And let's see, one or two.
Oh wait.
people-
Yeah. 1 through 3. Yeah. Okay. I misread that.
School nights are
the
famously
other,
restorative.
let's see,
Yeah.
up to two of you can also heal if you're willing to use the infirmary and not do some studying. These are stable wounds, so they'll heal overnight either way. Doesn't really matter. It does require you to get some rest, though, for those things to happen. You do need to get a good night's rest.
I'm gonna study.
Okay. As per your little guy, when you hit the books, take +1 forward to investigate a mystery.
So yeah, we've got like a little list that's like red tunic, jaunty little cap, fairy dust,
Pole axe.
poleaxe, and Jerry rolls a 4 and a 5 with the +2 from sharp, +1, making it a 12.
Excellent. Hold 2, so you can ask 2 questions. And these are both about the thing you fought in the woods.
So what sort of creature is it?
Based on the evidence that you've collected, and also Jero's extremely clutch guess in the chat, you think this is a red cap. However, not a tiny one. It's a 7-foot tall one that is super intent on harm and destruction. What you know about red caps is that they have red caps that need to be dyed with blood constantly. So if those, they're sort of a weakness of it. If they, well, that's what I'll say.
That's
what
fine.
kind of
Let's
creature
go
it is.
into what can hurt it. If
Excellent.
we're going to talk
Yeah.
about weaknesses.
There you go. You know that red caps are very attached to their caps. If they dry out, if those caps are lost or destroyed, then the monster can be killed.
Just like hair dryer, like one of those things. I'm trying to think about like ways to rapidly dry a headpiece.
Those like carpet dryers that look like giant whistles, like those.
Oh yeah. So Jerry is like, I've got it. Like slams the book shut.
It's a red cap. They crave wetness on their hats of blood. It's
You can tell that, like, she's pretty tired right now, and it's starting to get to her again. It's school night. Keep reiterating the point.
But they can't let it dry out. So we have to dry out the cap. Or take the cap.
Oh. And, oops, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Also, flipping through books / Reddit, Zeke got a 9 plus 2 with the lore to an 11.
Okay.
So
Is that another investigative
just-
mystery?
it is. So he gets a couple of questions of his own and wants to know, like, what was it going to do?
Let's see. You know that red caps aren't typically there for their own plans. Like they're into death and destruction and keeping those caps red. Aside from that, it's not like they have a real agenda. You think if it was here under someone else's command, and that maybe it was in conjunction with this kid you saw, the little girl in the field, the teenage girl in the field. Something to do with her.
Okay. I'm kind of torn on what happened here and what is being concealed here. Do we any crowdsourced preference?
I'm partial towards the latter. Plus, this is a really suspicious party. I feel like
What's the real truth below the truth, man?
feels right.
You know what? Yeah, you sold me on myself. What's being concealed here?
You think that what you know, you were getting some fae vibes from the girl. You know that the red cap is a type of fairy. You think there's some fairy stuff at play, and very conspicuously, you saw that trail of what you've called and perhaps correctly identified as pixie dust disappear into the middle of the square. So, it's not being concealed here, but you think there is an entrance to a world that you might be able to access, perhaps via magic or some other way.
Telling you, man, that pixie dust going to the stones. There's definitely some fairy stuff going on, and I don't know, it's not cool. That's all. For now, I'm pretty tired too. It's a school night.
Does anyone else want to investigate a mystery before?
I'm getting healed. Yep.
All right.
I love that you're just like taking the medical supplies from the kids. They don't need them.
Yeah.
That'll be fine.
They didn't have guns explode in their
heal.
hands.
He's just soaking his hands in the meatloaf.
All right. So you've managed to defeat this. Well, temporarily defeat this monster. You know now that it is a red cap, and there's some weird face stuff going on. And I'm going to bed.
Good night, Izzy.
Good night, Izzy.
Good night, Izzy.
Good night.
Horrible red cap.
I feel like my cat Giblet would 100% keep a cap red with blood if she had her choice. Like if she had her druthers, her constant druthers, her murderous druthers.
Instead, you hear a voice very close to your ear. What? Can you not right now? The cat is biting
That's
me.
what the voice is.
The voice says, "Pork on your time."